Dear spiritual seekers, this video is dedicated to you. You know, we have all been to group gatherings, to meetings, healing sessions, and I love these people. I really do. I have to say that before what I say next comes across as unfriendly, maybe, or too hard. These people, they are very beautiful in their own way. They all seem to be working towards some goal, somewhere to get, always trying to go higher because their higher self is calling you, and that might be true. Um, but they try to always get somewhere. And I recently made another video about success, in which I talked about this exact topic as well. You know, spirituality is the last escape for the human to work on something. You know, when we meet in these sessions where we are trying to heal ourselves, it becomes a loop. You know, every time I have really tried to work on something, it seemed like it got perpetuated even more. Which is strange, you know. And the other thing is, all these beautiful beings, you know, it's very beautiful, you know, to go and open up to yourself. It all has its place. And if you're just starting out, that's fine, you know. But don't get caught up in the loop of years and years of seeking something that is always already here, you know. Moji once said, what you are seeking is not something outside of you, but the place you seek from. Something along those lines. But what is really important is the place you're seeking, the place you're looking from, right? And to see that you already are everything and more, and you don't have to work on a project because you're actually not broken. This is like basically non-duality in a nutshell. Don't want to go too non-dual today, because even that can have its, not limitations, but people take that too seriously as well. And what it all comes down to, what I believe, you know, what I have learned from experience and self-realization, is that in the end of the day, you go back to just living your life when you see it through the illusion that is apparent, and life actually does get better then. Again, that's what we are trying to do, right? We are trying to get better or have a higher vibe, and that may take a bit of time. Um, but when you let go, get out of your own way, and really stop identity altogether, or at least maybe some loose identity here and there, which is not bad. But when you let go of everything that doesn't serve you, then um, life becomes easier, so much more easier. And then actually you find yourself in these, let's say, higher frequencies of being. Doesn't mean you cannot meditate, doesn't mean you cannot do your breath work. These things are all beautiful, but I would encourage you to do that from a different place, from the place of, okay, I am already whole and fulfilled. Now how do I, not maybe even not how do I do anything with it. Maybe you just go there and do it without any expectation or whatever, because some people, they go there, they bring their topic, they want to get fixed, they're so caught up in that fixing, they are, and then they seek for it, they want to be healed all over again. Once they feel healed, then something new comes, and it's not against them. It's just, all right. Perhaps you, maybe there's actually nothing wrong with you. Maybe there's really nothing wrong with you. I was on one of these meetings last week. I go there for the company. I have to point that out because you might not be saying, "Oh, that guy, he's not just talking bullshit." But I went there for the company because I love the people there. I really go there because of that, and perhaps even as a bit of a reflective figure. And then these people were talking there and all of that, and then one of them asked how to get into, I don't know, the question was basically something to do with how to get better, or whatever, what something she can do. And it was a valid question for her. I believe that at her point in life, that's a question you ask. What I said then was, um, the highest blessing is to see that you are already absolutely and infinitely blessed. But funny enough, I don't think she really get it. I got it. So yeah, but this is what I'm also telling you right now. You can take it or leave it, but perhaps even contemplate on that. The highest blessing is to see that you are already absolutely and infinitely blessed, and that takes time. I've had many experience, many bad days, many very very great days, many very great days, many gray days, many days in between. But when you are just present with yourself, and you don't try to escape, and then let go of everything that no longer serves, things start to unfold. and wisdom will be distilled. You know, because we're not trying to get anywhere any longer. Because we're already here. You have arrived. You have arrived. This is what it's all about. To see that you were never separated from anything at all, that's an illusion. I myself do believe that. I know there's a lot of people that believe in the concept of the higher self. And there's many, many people that talk about it. But what it actually always seems like to me is that I am it and it is me. And it's actually not separated. There's many people. At the end of the day, I used to believe there was a being out there. I can say that right here, right now. I used to believe there's a being out there watching over me, but that is far from the truth. Then I watched people like Darius J. Wright and Adamo Saint Germain and whatnot, and all they say is always that the higher self. For example, Adamos always says, "Your I am is your higher self." So the essence of you, that what you truly, truly are, that is your higher self, and it is always with you. And there is many, many terms, which can get confusing. When this is also perhaps where many people get stuck in these not perhaps loops, but they go around and everybody uses different terminology. This is higher self, they call it higher mind, and this is that, and yada yada yada. It's so much. You don't need all of that. You really don't. And one thing is very important for all of those who are listening. I had an insight, perhaps a few weeks ago, that went something like that. You don't belong to anybody. And perhaps that is my fear, was a bit of my fear, I have to say. But perhaps it's that of many, that there's some being out there, or your higher self, and it's directing your life and mind, it decides for you, and da 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 da. There are stories about that. But at the end, if you really want to be sovereign and your own creator, which you truly are, you just have to take it, really take it. Then you'll see that it's all just your creation. So that being said, don't get caught up in any fear mongering, in any trying to heal somebody, because you have to now look in your past and all of that. There is perhaps some processing. I don't want to say that, but the real processing again happens when you let go, and when you move on, when you don't try to fix it. So yeah, my little love letter to spiritual groups. Don't identify with being broken. This is one thing I still really want to say. In the beginnings, there can be a lot people that then come from this not how do I frame that so people don't take this wrong. There is this and we're all these wonderful beings, but planet Earth is such a hard place, and now we have to struggle. If you want to do that, let's go and do it. I wouldn't recommend, that is a place, and perhaps along people's journey, uh, that can be a valid recognition, but also move on from there, you know. So to wrap things up, the one thing I really wanted to have you guys take with you is you are all very wonderful. Don't pretend that you're not. Mm, don't try to fix. Move on from your issues, and the best blessing, the real blessing, is to recognize that you are already infinitely blessed, always, always. So take that with you, and be yourself. You know, be infinite because you truly are. Thank you for watching.